If you want to tell a lie, don't just come out with some ridiculous, outrageous statement. If you want to be really successful at lying, preface your lie with a truth. That's good advice from today's top negotiators and mediators, and it's also the instructions given to us by our preeminent medieval French scholar of Hebrew texts, none other than Rashi. Shabbat Shalom, and I hope that your family is healthy and safe. In this week's Parsha, Shelach, we pick up the story that we began last week, describing Bnei Yisrael's wandering in the wilderness. Hungry and tired and complaining, the ancient Israelites must have held on to a lot of fears. Fear of not having enough food and water, fear of being lost, and fear of the unknown. To that end, Moses sends representatives of the tribes to scout out the land of Canaan, spies who will report back to the people what they've seen. And after 40 days, these spies return to the people, and here's what they report. Efes ki haza ama yoshev ba'aretz larim tzurot gedulot. The people who inhabit the country are powerful, and the cities are fortified and very large. They continue, Amalek yoshev ba'aretz hanegev achiti v'abusi v'amori yoshev bahar v'aknani yoshev ha'yam v'ayad ha'yarden. The Amalekites dwell in the Negev region, the Hittites, Jebusites, and the Amorites. All these are fierce people. They all inhabit the hill country, and the Canaanites. They dwell by the sea along the Jordan. Their description of the land is hideous and frightening. The Midrash explains that their description is motivated by ulterior motives. They go on to explain that they saw themselves as grasshoppers in comparison to the giants who lived in the land. But Rashi picks up on a small detail, and if you're familiar with the text, maybe you noticed it too. Just before the spies launch into their slanderous attack on the land, frightening the people into panic, they say something interesting. Banu el haaretz asher shalachtanu v'gam zvar chalav udvash hi v'zeh pirya. We came to the land you sent us to. It does indeed flow with milk and honey. And this is its fruit, and they even produce huge clusters of grapes, an image that has been adopted by the modern state of Israel's Office of Tourism. One might ask, why do they first describe the land in such glowing terms before turning so sour? Rashi explains, Kol davar sheker, she'ein omrim bo ksat emet b'tchilato, ein mitkayim b'sofo. Any good lie, in this case the frightening report of the land, that isn't told with a bit of truth, will never hold up to scrutiny. Even as children, we learn to manipulate our parents by telling half-truths. Did you do your homework? Your parents might have asked you. I wrote 5 pages. Well, your 5 pages could be any 5 pages written at any time. It may not have anything to do with your homework. In business negotiations, in contract writing, and also in news reporting, embedding lies in a veneer of truth is a way of life. In the recent reporting on the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, we've certainly seen a great deal of half-truth telling. Manipulations, deceptions, and defamations, whether reporting on the so-called disproportionate use of force, the origins of the conflict, maps that tell lies, or the terrible death of children as presented to the world last Shabbat on the front page of the New York Times. Former head of the ADL, Abraham Foxman, characterized the heart-rending pictures on that front page of 67 Palestinian children. He characterized it as a modern-day blood libel. And he's right. It was a disgusting lie that was wrapped in a tragic truth. The Dor HaMidbar, the generation of Israelites that were to die off in the wilderness before reaching the Promised Land, they never witnessed its beauty, and they never saw its majestic mountains, the land flowing with milk and honey. Rashi got it right. Bnei Yisrael was taken in by the slanderous report of the spies. Lies given credence by an element of truth. Shabbat Shalom.